Coming up on The Cut.
Tragedy hits a church in Michigan.
Heavy storms cause severe flooding across the valley.
And the Super Bowl halftime show is announced.
The Cut starts now.
Hello and welcome to the Cut Network. I'm Ryan Moffitt.
And I'm Sydney Voorhees. Ukraine was devastated this past Sunday by a fatal Russian attack, killing 4 people and wounding at least 70. The capital, Kyiv, suffered the heaviest assault. The strikes began in the night and continued into Sunday morning, targeting homes, civilian infrastructure, a medical facility, and a kindergarten, according to Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky wrote on X, quote, "This vile attack came virtually at the close of the UN General Assembly week, and this is exactly how Russia declares its true position. Moscow wants to keep fighting and killing, and it deserves the toughest pressure from the world." According to Ukraine's Air Force, Russia fired a total of 595 exploding drones and decoys, and 48 missiles. Ukraine was able to block 566 drones and 45 missiles, but it was tragically not enough to save everyone. Over in Poland, this assault has triggered a defensive military response. While Russia struck targets in Ukraine, the Polish military deployed fighter jets in a, quote, preventative measure. International tensions are rising in the wake of this assault and 2 prior incidents of Russian drones landing in Poland and aircraft flying in Estonian airspace.
Tragic news coming from Michigan after an attack on the Church of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. The gunman who also set the church on fire, Thomas Jacob Sanford, killed at least 4 and injured 8 people. Hundreds of people were at the service on Sunday morning when the attack took place at 10:25 a.m. Sanford, a former Marine, was from a neighboring town of Burton. A special agent from the FBI, Reuben Coleman, labeled the attack, quote, an act of targeted violence, based off of the information gathered so far in the ongoing investigation. Police officers arrived at the church 30 seconds after the 911 call and chased Sanford, who fled the scene. Officers killed Sanford 8 minutes after they engaged in gunfire. 2 bodies were found during the search of the debris, and more could be found as there are people unaccounted for. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those affected in this tragic event as the community looks to recover.
This past weekend, severe weather hit the valley, and residents are still dealing with the fallout. Cut reporter Brayla Burkhalter has the damage it left behind.
Thank you, Sydney. A deadly rainstorm traveled across Arizona this last weekend, causing major flooding and 4 tragic deaths. Starting Friday morning, a severe storm swept through areas of Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Paradise Valley. In some locations, rainfall reached 2 inches in just 1 hour. After several hours of heavy rain, large puddles and overflowing ditches caused serious flooding. Parts of Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport were submerged, Waymo shut down mid-ride, and several streets became impossible to drive through. Globe and Miami, Arizona were the hardest hit areas where flash floods caused widespread destruction. 4 people died after being caught in the strong currents, and multiple people remain missing. Many residents lost their homes and vehicles, and a number reported that they were stranded before reaching dry land. Governor Katie Hobbs declared that this a state of emergency and expressed her sympathy in a news release. Quote, "I'm heartbroken by the devastation in Gila County. My thoughts are with the families who have lost loved ones and the residents whose lives have been impacted," Hobbs said. This was the single wettest day that Arizona has seen in 7 years, just after experiencing a long streak of 100-degree days. The rain finally came to a stop Saturday afternoon after intermittent hail, rain, and thunderstorms. Businesses in Globe have begun cleanup efforts, and the community is working to rebuild. For the Cut Network, I'm Brayla Burkhalter.
Thank you, Brayla. This past weekend has proven the true unpredictable nature of Arizona's weather. QAnon shaman Jacob Chansley, infamously known for storming the U.S. Capitol on January 6th in a horned warrior outfit, is giving Trump a run for his money. The Phoenix resident is claiming he is the rightful president of the United States and suing President Trump for $40 trillion. In a 26-page manifesto, Chansley claimed his First, Fourth, and Second Amendment rights have been violated by Trump, the Federal Reserve, the NSA, the State of Israel, Elon Musk X Corporation, Warner Bros. Studios, and more. He listed various conspiracies, including that the U.S. government is guilty of treason, illegal surveillance, Facebook catfishing, and stealing his ideas that he later saw used in the 2008 film The Dark Knight and 2009's Avatar. However, some critiques were more defensible. For example, he claimed the American government is violating the Fifth Amendment by letting an Israeli official bail on a court hearing after he was charged with attempting to pay a minor for sex in Nevada. Chansley also went on to fiercely critique America's penchant for pointless warfare. Chansley is representing himself in the Maricopa County Superior Court, fighting for the Federal Reserve to mint a 1-ounce gold coin and set its value to $40 trillion to pay off America's debt. He plans to use $38 trillion to pay off the American government's debt, $1 trillion to rebuild America's infrastructure, and the last $1 trillion to heal his own emotional damages.
Philanthropist Rob Walton made a generous donation to ASU this past week. Cut reporter Samuel Kabamba has the changes to the university. Samuel?
Thank you, Ryan. Arizona State University has reached its largest donation ever, $115 million to establish the Rob Walton School of Conservation and Futures. It was announced on September 22, 2025. Arizona State University campuses has been electric since the news of this new school. Leaders believe that it will highlight the need for new research, environmental studies, and sustainability. The gift opens the university for students to study conservation on a global scale, including research that will prepare the next generation to tackle issues like biodiversity and climate that impacts us all. The school will offer undergraduate and graduate degrees, as well as certificates, even hands-on learning. These experiences will help students gain traction with the collaboration of global partners, including NGOs, governments, and indigenous communities, and the private sector. This is exciting news for anyone considering Arizona State University. With this historic gift and philanthropic support, ASU is reaching new heights and setting the stage for future generations of students. For the Cut Network, I'm Samuel Kabamba.
Thank you, Samuel. ASU will definitely continue pushing for positive environmental change. A maintenance crew for American Airlines discovered a dead body inside of the landing gear of one of their planes. The body was discovered when the incoming plane from Europe landed in North Carolina on Sunday morning. Airport Division officers declared the dead body on scene. Plane stowaways deal with a lack of oxygen and temperatures around minus 60 degrees when planes reach 35,000 feet of elevation. Stowaways face severe frostbite and brain death because of low levels of oxygen. Airport operations will carry on as normal while the Charlotte Airport supports the police departments as they begin investigating.
Rock band The Killers are coming to Scottsdale. Cut reporter Nicole Alejandro has how to see the band live. Nicole?
Thank you, Sydney. Rock band The Killers are headlining at the 16th hole in TPC Scottsdale for the concert in the Coliseum, the Arizona Republic reported on Friday. This will be the 5th annual concert in the Coliseum, which is located at the 16th hole of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. The concert in the Coliseum, presented by Swire Coca-Cola, will be on January 31st, which is 2 days before the start of the Phoenix Open. Past headliners include Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani, Post Malone and Ernest, and Maroon 5 and Walker Hayes. Jason Eisenberg, the tournament chairman of the 2026 Waste Management Phoenix Open, said in a statement, quote, "The Killers have been on our radar for years. They embody the spirit and the energy of the loudest hole in golf. We can't wait for them to hit the stage and create another memorable night at the Waste Management Phoenix Open," end quote. The band, which was formed in 2002 in Las Vegas, are known for their hits, including Mr. Brightside and Somebody Told Me. Venue gates will open at 3:30 in the afternoon the day of the concert. General admission tickets are on sale today, October 3rd, on WMPhoenixOpen.com. For the Cut Network, I'm Nicole Alejandro.
Thank you, Nicole. I'm totally rocking with this killer band. Now Cut anchor Lizzie Hadel has the entertainment beat. Lizzie?
Thank you, Sydney. Welcome back to Entertainment. Courtney premiered this segment just last week, and I'm happy to be continuing it this week. There is a lot going on in the music world, from Doja Cat releasing her 5th album V last week, to Taylor Swift's 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl, being released on Friday, and her music video/documentary, The Fate of Ophelia, premiering in theaters this weekend. It was also announced that Puerto Rican singer Bad Bunny is the 2026 Super Bowl halftime performer. He said, quote, It's for those who came before me and ran countless yards so I could come in and score a touchdown. This is for my people, my culture, and our history. This is a huge step for Latin music in America. Last week we talked about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star Taylor Frankie Paul, but this week I'm turning it over to her two co-stars currently competing in Dancing with the Stars, Jen Affleck and Whitney Levitt. Dancing with the Stars controls all forms of media on Tuesday nights as people vote on who they think deserve to stay in the show. It has become not only a hit TV show, but a social activity for people to get together and bond over their favorite dances and performers. Personally, I'm rooting for Whitney, but Robert Irwin is a close second. Lastly, over the weekend, Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco had a beautiful wedding in Santa Barbara. They've been together since 2023 and announced their engagement back in December. Their guest list consisted of many close friends such as Paul Rudd, Steve Martin, Martin Short, Ed Sheeran, and Taylor Swift. Make sure to come back next week for more insight into all things entertainment. For the Cut Network, I'm Lizzie Hadel.
Thank you, Lizzie. Now passing it to Cut anchor Josh Melby with the sports. Josh?
Thanks, Sydney, and welcome to the Sports on the Cut Network. I'm Josh Melby, and to kick off the sports segment, let's review what as of right now is the best weekend of the 2025 college football season. Week 5 featured 4 top 25 matchups, a plethora of upsets, games down to the wire, and 4 top 10 teams losing for the first time since 2023. Week 5 action got off to a strong start earlier than usual with 2 exciting Friday night matchups. For starters, despite Virginia's starting quarterback, Chandler Morris, throwing 3 interceptions, the Cavaliers took down the number 8 Florida State Seminoles 46-38 in overtime and now find themselves in the AP Top 25 for the first time in 6 years. But this was not the only Top 25 team that went down in dramatic fashion on Friday night. Right here in Tempe, Arizona, Arizona State beat number 24 Texas Christian University 27-24 on a last-minute field goal from none other than Jesus Gomez. This bumped ASU to 2-0 in Big 12 play and marked the Sun Devils' first top 25 win of the 2025 season. On Saturday, the action did not slow down, not even a little. Number 13 Ole Miss beat number 4 LSU. Number 15 Tennessee just barely held on to beat Mississippi State in overtime, and number 23 Illinois bounced back from a beatdown against the Indiana Hoosiers in Week 4 and defeated the number 21 USC Trojan by only 2 points. And of course, the Penn State whiteout game did not disappoint. Number 6 Oregon traveled to Happy Valley to take on the number 3 Penn State Nittany Lions in the highest-ranked whiteout game in Penn State history. This game was bound to be a classic from the start, and it resulted in a double overtime victory for the Oregon Ducks thanks to a game-winning interception picked off by Purdue transfer Dylan Thieneman. Now switching over to the MLB. October baseball is finally here. The playoff race was as exciting as ever, but here in Arizona, the Diamondbacks faithful ended up disappointed. The Diamondbacks ended the season 3 games behind the final National League wildcard spot, which was clinched by the Cincinnati Reds. In the American League, the Tigers, who struggled down the stretch, just barely beat out the Astros for the last wildcard spot. However, in July, the Tigers were in fact 15.5 games above the Cleveland Guardians to win the AL Central, but the Guardians set a Major League Baseball record for overcoming the largest deficit in history to win a division title and are your 2025 AL Central champions. Playoff games started last night, and we'll follow the rest of the MLB playoffs closely. Now some final quick notes around the sports world to wrap up. The Phoenix Mercury upset the number 1 ranked Minnesota Lynx in Game 4 of the WNBA semifinals and advanced to the WNBA finals. Lastly, Tyreek Hill was carted off of the field on Monday Night Football after dislocating his knee and will likely be out for the remainder of the season. That will wrap it up for Sports on the Cut. I've been Josh Melby.
Thank you, Josh. Things can't seem to get any nuttier in the Bay Area as residents face a furry foe. A community in San Rafael, California is dealing with an aggressive squirrel in their neighborhood. This creature has sent at least 2 people to the emergency room after violently attacking them in the street. Flyers have been pasted across the community to warn others about walking outside. Joan Heblack, who fell victim to the squirrel, shared her experience. Quote, "It clamped onto my leg. The tail was flying up here. I was like, get it off me, get it off me." The squirrel has kept quiet since mid-September, but the Marin Humane Society is prepared to remove the squirrel if it attacks again. Lisa Block from the Humane Society said this kind of behavior is, quote, almost always because someone has been feeding the animal. Ryan, you're from California. Have you been attacked by any squirrels recently?
Thankfully, no, but I mean, if you feed animals, they get wild. I've got a dog. I've given him a Pop-Tart. He just goes wild. So yeah, I can attest to that. It's true.
I'm glad you're still here.
Thanks. It was near-death experience.
Yes.
Can't trust dogs.
Well, that's all we have for you today on The Cut. Be sure to follow us at @thecut_network on Instagram. I'm Sydney Voorhees.
And I'm Ryan Moffitt. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.